the best time of the week. Time to listen to the Three Brothers. Forget your garlic and your leeks and listen to the Three Brothers. It's fat-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and free from gluten and priestcraft too. If you click this accidentally, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. Chuck on a shirt, tie in shorts, and crack yourself a brew without any further ado. We are coming at you. Three brothers, juxtapositions, and midnight ramblings for sure. Three brothers, don't forget you get what you pay for. Three brothers, so come on down, don't even worry about it anymore. Three brothers.
Three brothers. Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to this week's podcast. Again, it's time for your favorite Three Brothers. Thanks for joining again this week. Episode 2, people. Episode 2. We're still trying to figure out
Back of the
what we
clones.
do here. What are we doing here? We don't even know. We're trying to figure it out. If you've accidentally clicked on this, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. All right. Let's jump straight in. So let's start with the commitment from last podcast, episode 1. If you recall, the commitment was to turn off Priestcraft and turn on the Three Brothers. I actually haven't looked at the stats of our podcast, so I'm not sure how well it's even been viewed or anything. I assume people are watching it. I don't know. Probably should have checked that. But how did you go? Did you turn off Priestcraft, turn on Three Brothers? From the things that we've been looking at, it seems like people aren't turning off Priestcraft.
No,
Maybe it'll take a while. I don't know.
I actually had to turn it off this week. So like I actually had somebody share a video in Discord of Priestcraft, and I was about 30 seconds into it, and I was like, "Wait a second, I
Yeah.
can't be this. I can't be doing this," and I turned it off immediately and stopped
What?
listening to it. So
Well, I'm proud to report that I'm 7 days sober of Priestcraft, and I'm probably due for one of those sober tokens at 7 days. So I'm pretty proud of that. I try and keep the Priestcraft to the absolute minimum, which is 0.
That's the baseline.
good work,
Nice.
good work.
And hopefully everyone listening to this, hopefully you're in the same boat. It can be. I can imagine it could be hard if you're a diehard Priestcraft lover. I mean, you could be watching a lot of it and be addicted to it a little bit. I imagine it could be addictive. So you got to break that addiction. Turn on the Three Brothers.
It's true.
All right, and just another part of the intro. What did we get up to this week? Anything interesting from you fellers?
To be honest, not really.
Yep.
And that about sums up my life.
A week
So
goes by very quickly. Like, I feel like we just filmed this, like we just recorded the last episode and we're already doing another one. So it's like nothing really happens. Every day's the same for me at the moment. But for me, I will tell you what I did do. It's not interesting, but here's what it is. It's my last week of parental leave. I go back to work next Tuesday, which is kind of a bummer, but yeah, it is what it is. And it's very, very hot here in Australia at the moment, and well, in Perth anyway. I imagine it's hot everywhere in Australia. And so we went to the beach, and today I played 18 holes of golf, which is diabolical and an all-day affair, and not something I've ever done before. So that was new, and I don't know how people do it. It's rough. So there you go. But like I said, not interesting at all.
very good. Very, very good.
All right.
I did.
Nothing from you
I
guys?
did.
Nothing else?
Man, I just did the Understanding Revelation, and I'm just coming off of a sickness, and that was 6 hours of just doing everything to get that done on Sunday. So
Wow.
that was insane. So this has
Micah is
been
like a postman. Doesn't stop for rain, hail, or shine,
He always delivers.
or sleep, or yeah, always delivers.
true. That's that's true. Gotta get her done. So we're feeling better, a little better now though.
Good.
Good to hear.
A little better than well, I have a little bit of a rant this week though. I had actually a
Yeah,
couple
random.
rants. I couldn't decide which rant to do. Like
I
that's
think
how
we'll never
that's
be short of rants.
this was a week full of rants where it was like because the pre-scrap thing somebody was like dude you need to listen to this that like you're getting ripped off again. I was like I don't like they gave me a timestamp and I'm like 30 seconds in and I'm like oh my goodness yeah well here we go again. So yeah. And here's the I just labeled this one. I told you so. So for those who aren't familiar, Logan
Uh,
Castellion,
Castleton?
Castleton,
Castellion.
Castellion, Castellion. Um, prob-
Laurent.
probably probably not French. Probably not French. Uh, he's also, as far as I know, not married, but I like the rings. He so he was a missionary, and he was known as the rapping missionary. While he was a missionary, and he would just do these quite cringeworthy rap videos. But as you can tell by the tubes in his nose, he has a health condition, and so it's one of those, um, you know, uh, like like I don't know if you guys watched America's Got Talent or these idol things, and it's always like a one-legged person who was left on a doorstep. They always have these stories before they start because
Yep.
that matters. But anyway, so that's what this story is, and that's all this guy was doing on his mission was just building up this brand of the rapping missionary. And I made one comment on one of his videos was like this is just not appropriate to build up a brand like this on a mission, and then just because I know you're going to get off your mission and you're just going to like turn this into a career. Like you've turned your mission into a career.
Yeah. Your money
You
making
know,
opportunity.
yeah, exactly. And it's like when we served missions, I'm sure you guys got it too. I got it all the time in Philadelphia. It was like so like you'd be asked so like you're going on a mission so that like when you're done they're going to give you a congregation. Like it was
Uh,
this idea that like you're going to do this ministry so that you can be prepared to like be a pastor or be a bishop or have these things. Like the idea was like you're doing this just so that you can obtain this congregation or whatever. And so like I had to battle this my whole mission. And so anyway, I was blocked. So I would not surprise anybody. I was actually blocked, one comment blocked from this guy. So I couldn't make any more comments on his stuff. And so anyway, he's now back from his mission. He's no longer wearing a name tag, and he's got himself already the workings, right? The YouTube channel, the everything, and he's got 10,000 subscribers immediately, which I'm telling you, you don't just get 10,000 subscribers unless you've taken them from your other platform. And bro is now a full-fledged priest crafter. He's got he's got the I'm an influencer. He's got the I'm a content creator. He's got all the tags up there. So oh, and I should also mention that like I was attacked, obviously, viscerally attacked by people that were like, you don't know, he's you don't know he's doing that. Like you don't know that that's what he's going to do. So it's fascinating. And now the arguments will be, well, he's back from his mission. He's allowed to do this. A man's allowed to feed his family. So like my problem is why is it that you were all so upset at the accusation, as you would put it, that he was doing this for this reason on a mission, but as soon as he's back from his mission, you're completely okay with him doing it. So like why is it? Is it because we all instinctively know that like you're not supposed to make money while you're on a mission. But for some reason, when you're off a mission, it's completely okay to make money off of the gospel. And why is that? Why is that okay? Why are we, not okay with missionaries making money and in fact spending money on it? Like, can we explain why that is? Why didn't I make money on a mission? Why didn't the church pay me? Um, so anyway, this is just a big fat I told you so. I knew he was going to do this, and he did, and you hated me for it, and you blocked me, and I was right, you were wrong. So,
Well, that adds
Yeah.
another layer to it, which is I'm pretty sure for the most part, I'm pretty sure it was his dad that was actually running his social media when he was on his mission. And so his own father was like his manager in a way, managing the priestcraft and going for the clicks and the views. And the dude wasn't on a mission where he was. The guy was trying to create a brand for himself, or at least his family was doing everything they could to create a brand for him. Obviously, with the intention that when he finished, he had that brand.
yeah.
So his mission wasn't out there to serve others. His mission was out there to build himself up. And as soon as he finished, here he is. So, I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
I'm coming into this blind because I've never heard of the guy. I gave it a quick Google before we went live, and I didn't have time to even watch a single video about it. So I don't know anything about this guy. But going from what you've just said, like here's the thing: I don't even know. Like if this guy was on his mission and using that as his sole, again, I don't know anything. If he was using that talent or that thing as the whole rapping thing as his as his basis as a missionary, even as his sole, like because missionaries are meant to teach, find, teach, baptize, right? If that's what he was using as his way of doing it, I don't really like that. Like that shouldn't be the basis of his like personality on his mission, right? You're supposed to leave that stuff back behind. When you go on a mission, leave that junk, leave that, whatever. Use the talents you've got, sure, but like if that's the platform he's using to actually find, teach, and baptize, I don't like that. I also, funnily enough, I don't know how well something like this would work as a conversion tool. People might go, "Oh, that's cool. You can rap and whatever." It's not going to convert people to the gospel. You know what I mean? Like it's not how it works.
Nothing converting about it.
No. So it's really, from my point of view, more for members. I can go, I can see
Correct.
members going, "Oh, I love this." This, a guy rapping
Yeah.
about something I love. Oh, fine, sure, whatever, great. But don't do it on your mission. Like I don't know, like maybe bust out a rap
So-
every now and then when someone, if the time's right, but not like making your whole personality about it. I don't know.
So here's the easiest way to explain that, I think, and we talk about this sometimes in the Discord group, is what you convert someone with is what you convert them to.
Yeah.
And so if this guy's out there singing and he was literally singing and dancing and rapping
In the church.
in the church.
Oh yeah, see, I hate that.
What you're converting them to is his singing and dancing and rapping.
Yeah.
You're not converting him to Jesus. And my example of that I saw this the most clearly on my mission was moving into an area, and the missionary that was leaving the area pulled me aside and goes, "Hey, you're so lucky to be moving into that area. I've got 5 investigators that are ready to get baptized immediately. As soon as you walk in, you got 5 people who are ready to get baptized." And I was like, "Oh, wow, this is amazing." As a young missionary, I thought, that's great. I'm going to walk in, we're going to have some great lessons, and immediately start seeing some people come into the gospel. And every single person, one of these people I met with, the first thing they said to me is, "Hang on, where's Elder so-and-so?
Yeah,
Where's
they're like,
Elder so-and-so? Where's Elder so-and-so?" I was like, "Oh, he's not coming. But did you want to go through this lesson?" And we'd go through a lesson, and they had zero interest.
happens
and
with sister missionaries all the time too.
It would.
yeah.
It would. I mean, they would
Yeah.
experience this day in and day out. This was my clearest experience of this. And just for the audience back home, you already know the end of the story. But the audience back home that might not have served the mission, they were all so interested in that elder. They'd all become best buddies with that elder that as soon as he left, all of a sudden they had absolutely zero interest in the church,
Yeah.
zero interest in the gospel, because the guy was super charismatic. He was
Yeah.
funny, he was fun, he was charismatic. And as soon as he left and I walked in, these people dropped away instantly. And the next time I saw the guy, he's like, Elder Wilkes. So how many of them were baptized? What happened? And I was like, "Mate, they're all gone." And he was shocked But what he clearly hadn't worked out yet is that they weren't converting to the gospel, they were converting to him. And this
Yep.
rapping missionary was obviously doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I want to say one other thing. I've seen it in a different form. This in a different form. um, so in Perth, yeah. What's this?
This is like take it down
Silence.
a notch.
Oh,
Shush.
okay.
You go, I want to say one more thing. You could just say it. No.
Okay.
Go,
So
go.
you would never have heard of it because I had never heard of it. Well, maybe you have. There's a missionary in the Perth mission. I think he's still here right now. And he comes from a family in Utah that have really, 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 really successful YouTube channel called Ninja Kids. So he's known as the Ninja Missionary because he comes from this YouTube channel called Ninja Kids, right? Never heard of it. Looked it up because we heard he was in the Perth mission. Very, very popular. Very, very. They're obviously actually wealthy from this channel and stuff, right? And I don't know what they do, but they do ninja stuff, flips and all sorts of stuff. And that's what their channel is for kids, right? Anyway, the oldest son, he's on a mission here and he's in Perth. And it turns out that my nephew loves Ninja Kids. And so they agreed to like meet my nephew, or he agreed to meet my nephew, even though like we organized it through the mission and stuff. And it was really, really cool. So anyway, what I'm getting at is I think you could say good ways and bad ways. This guy doesn't go around being a ninja on his mission. Like he's not going around, I'm being a ninja because that's what he is or whatever as a ninja on his mission. But using the talent when someone wants it or whatever, or, you know, if it serves a certain purpose, he'll do a backflip for you or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I think there's fine lines. I think there's fine lines like on this sort of stuff. But I think as long as it's not your persona, because again, like Ammon said, you're converting people to the backflip, you know, to the ninja skill, not the gospel, right? The other one, I don't know, did you guys have on your missions, did you guys have missionaries who did magic? Did you ever have that? Like, was there any missionaries that did magic all the time? I had a bunch of them on mission.
I did.
So,
And then they all disappeared.
yeah, okay. So I didn't mind it. Like, so we called them the magicianaries. So they would use magic tricks to like teach little gospel principles and stuff. Again, it's very gimmicky, right? But everyone kind of loved that. And again, I was like, I'm not so against that, but it's different again to making your whole persona. I'm a magician first and a missionary second, or, you know, I'm a rapper first and a missionary second, or what have you, right? So anyway, I think talents can be a good thing. Talents can be used for the right purpose, but if you make your whole persona that's what people are converting to, and that's what you got to be careful of. There you go.
They at one point in time we stopped people from going on missions based off of that. So like I don't know if you knew this, but like we used to have famous Latter-day Saints like the Osmonds, the Osmond family, like very 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 famous, and they actually the church was like, we're not going to allow you to go on a mission because we
I think
believe
if you're
that
ultra famous though, it's gonna cause issues almost, eh?
that's what it is. And so it's just like because it would be distracting.
Yeah.
Because it would be distracting from the call. And now it just seems like be as distracting as possible. Like that seems to actually be the MO. And the problem with that is that we now have many priest crafters promoting this idea that like that all of our ideas of reverence and not becoming a distraction, they're all cultural. That it's all just some kind of cultural thing, and that like we should be able to show up to church in purple suits and be singing and dancing down the aisle, and like that's just a cultural thing. And it's like, well, okay, does that mean that we can be singing and dancing in the temple? Can we do it there too? Like is the reverence that we apparently are supposed to show in the temple cultural too? And so like where do you draw the line on that one? And if it's you know, if we understand that well, that's just temple reverence. It's like, well, that's supposed to be the same thing. You know, you do in the temple, you're supposed to be doing in your wards and branches, and you're supposed to be bringing it into your home, right? It's it's like, that's like missionary obedience, right? It's like, no, missionary is supposed to be training for life. You've got it completely wrong. So I'm seeing it a lot. Cultural. Oh, it's just cultural. Nah.
You
No.
know, nobody is going to watch this or listen to this and be more against everything that we just said than people who have recently served missions. And the reason for that is that this is what they're taught is
Yeah,
okay.
it's different,
Because
different generation.
because every single missionary I've seen for the past couple of years seems to go out there and film themselves doing all kinds of crazy stuff for the internet.
Yeah.
And
All
I
kinds
cringe
of
every
crazy
time.
stuff. And it's I don't understand it. Like on my mission, I don't know about you guys, but on my mission, we were told you aren't even allowed to take a photo whilst you're proselyting. We're
Proselyting.
not
Yep.
we're not allowed to use cameras and take photos or videos or anything while proselyting at all. Um, and obviously P-Day is just for, just recording basic things about your mission for your own, for yourself. But now that missionaries are using social media, I find it so strange that they're uploading this stuff where they're wearing full missionary garb and they're singing and dancing and doing all kinds of this crazy stuff during proselyting time. And then they're uploading it to social media platforms for people that they're not serving. They're,
Correct.
they're uploading it just for family and friends to see them having a good time on their mission. It's just you just have to ask yourself where their hearts and their desires really are. And once again, you might say, "Hey, lay off a little bit. They're young. They're whatever." I can say that because I was one.
Correct.
I can say this because I did it. I can say it because there were rules and I followed them. I can say it because I know what it's like to be out there and do something very distracting that completely ruins my day spiritually, completely ruins my spiritual opportunity. And I always tried to not do that. So if people around me saw me doing stuff like that, like for example, one time I remember serving my mission, we had a little thing where everyone was buying these little collectibles. Everyone seemed to be getting these little collectibles. And it's like, oh yeah, they're pretty sweet. So I remember buying one, and I remember like unpacking it on my P day, and one of my companions was like, "Hey, that's Elder Wilkes. That's really distracting. Do we have to be doing stuff like that? Let's just not." And I go, "Yeah, you're right." And I packed it away. It's nice to have those little reminders from people that care, because when we're focused on worldly things and we're focused on singing and dancing and messing around and taking, funny videos and stuff on our mission, we're not converting people to Jesus. It's just not what's happening.
And in a
And the
world
people
that's
that,
so disconnected now because of the internet and everything being on social media, this seems like a perfect opportunity to get like away from that and get to people where they are face to face, succor them, like be in the moment with them, not just like throwing these stupid images on. Like those are some of the most powerful, memorable moments of my mission, like face to face with somebody, like being there in their suffering and helping them get through stuff.
yeah,
But
amen.
I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
feel like
just my
it almost
thought.
feels like we're the OG. We're the OG. You know, it's a different day, eh? It's a different day.
I just feel like
Okay, boomer.
we were the end of
We
we
were
were
the
sort of
boomer
the end of
missionaries.
a generation, and
Yeah,
then it
it
all
was a
just started
change.
to change. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, here's a little simple
culturally.
one. Yeah, it's a cultural thing, but they call investigators friends now. I still can't get used to it. Like I
Yeah, I'll
just
never get used to
can't.
it.
I can't get used to it.
We must
Like
be
there's just
dinosaurs. I'll never get used to that.
yeah, can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for us, it was called raising the bar. So, I mean, like,
Yeah, I remember
I'm,
they raised it before we all went on a mission.
I'm okay with the wording choices that they
Now
use.
the
So
bar has been lowered like a game of limbo.
they
There's
got
no
rid of the
bar.
bar.
Going under it.
They
Instead of going
literally
under
got
it, they're
rid of it.
jumping over it. They're just walking over it. Yeah.
The bar was racist and sexist. So they and all the things. It was a bag of deplorable. It was a basket of deplorables.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh, good rant.
Good rant.
oh, thank you. Get people upset. Right out of the bit. All right, so here's one that I want to pass over to Ammon. Man, this is a quote of the
Quote
week.
of the week.
Quote of the week.
Yep, take it away.
And so, anyway, just a little bit of background on where we got this. So, somebody was sent this letter from the Isaiah Institute, and then this I don't like. I have to look it up. Like Elders Quorum president, or like this guy or stake president. It was somebody big in the stake decides to send this letter
Oh no.
to the stake, and then at the end of it, which this part right here, the follow your heart, the guy who wrote the letter said that this wasn't Gileadi. So he says, when deciding how much money to give, follow your heart. And so that was the member of the stake presidency. So anyway, this was just tidbits of it. If you want the full letter, you can check it out in Discord. But this was a little tongue in cheek. Amma, take it away. This is the quote of the
Okay.
week.
This is going to kill my brain and my heart, but here we go. The Isaiah Institute badly needs our first full-time employees to get Isaiah's end-time message to the world and to the Ephraimite spiritual kings and queens. We are trying to raise $60,000 US to hire a full-time videographer for 1 year. Do you have any wealthy friends our President Stephen Beckstead could talk to about the Isaiah Institute, about all we have accomplished thus far with dedicated volunteers and what our immediate plans are to take us to the next level in influence? Close quote. To take us to the next level, do you know what that immediately reminds me of? And I think the connection is
Erica.
perfect. Erica Kirk.
We're gonna take TP USA to the next level.
Yeah.
And then
And who
then
was it that promised that? Who promised to take him to the next level?
the Jews.
All the while she stares like this.
Allegedly, according to what they're reporting in the media, allegedly, the Jews were saying to TP USA that they would inject over $100 million to take TP USA to the next level. And that was very interesting and scary and foreboding. And isn't it super interesting that they're using the exact same commentary here about Gileadi and his Isaiah Institute? This is crazy. So I have a lot of background with, I have a lot of, yeah, you look good. I have a lot of background with this stuff. And Abraham Gileadi seems to be the most common denominator, perhaps the most common denominator with people arguing their way out of their membership of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The common denominator always is, I'm leaving the church, here are my reasons, and on top of that, I've read Gileadi's work, and I believe it's correct, and therefore I don't need to be a member of the church.
Yep.
And he is a priest crafter, and he is a person that I'll just say politely does not necessarily lead people along the covenant path within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I've seen the NDAs from people that have joined in his study meetings. I've seen the NDAs he makes them sign. Now, why would somebody who's teaching people the gospel of Jesus Christ ask the members and supporters to sign NDAs about what they teach? And the reason is he's worried about church discipline. He's worried about it getting out there because he's been excommunicated before. And regardless of why exactly that happened and why it was reinstated, I can tell you from the things that I've heard him teach and that I've read from some of his books that it's got some teachings in there that don't quite square with the church, to put it lightly. And if that was to get out and people were to expand upon those teachings, it would be grounds for church disciplinary consideration. Let's put it that way. So it makes perfect sense to me that if he was speaking freely in those meetings, that he would be scared about that information getting out into the wider public. So I've seen the NDAs and I know what's being taught in those meetings, and it ain't pretty. So I'll just keep the rant there.
My old elders quorum president, who I loved Gileadi, and it was a bit of a heartbreaker for me because I could not believe it, I could not understand it, and he would often reference him in Sunday school, not usually in elders quorum, thankfully, but in Sunday school he would use Gileadi's words, things especially when it was the Old Testament year in Come Follow Me and stuff. He would reference Gileadi, and I called him out on it multiple times. And I was like, this guy, you can't be talking about him, and you can't be referencing him. It's crazy. Because if you have to worry about the church's views on your teachings, like to the point where you've got NDAs being signed and things, your teachings are an issue, right? Your teachings are wrong or have issues, right? If you have to worry about what the church thinks if they find out about it, I think there's something wrong with your teachings, right? It's got to be. Like, otherwise, what are we doing? And so in regard to this specific message, It's priestcraft, like literally in the message. We're trying to raise $60,000, right? To hire, like, okay, cool. That's first issue. Second issue is who cares about Gileadi's Isaiah end time message to the world? Like, who cares about
The
that?
Jews got it
why
wrong the
should you pay
first
for it?
time. The Jews got it wrong the
Right.
first time, and Brigham Young said, there's a quote from Brigham Young saying the Jews will be just as mistaken about the events of the second coming as the Jews were about the events leading up to his original coming in Jerusalem. And so if we're all sitting around trying to rely on Jewish teachings of the second coming of the Messiah, they're the ones that got it wrong the first time to the point where they killed the guy. You think that their teachings about how he's going to appear in glory are going to be right the second time? Well, we know that that's not true because the Jews don't accept Jesus Christ in his fullness until the moment he stands on the Mount of Olives and they're almost completely wiped out. So, no, they
Do
won't
you
be
have any
ready.
wealthy friends? Do you have any wealthy friends for me?
I mean, it's not beating any of the stereotypes here, and the reason why they think that it's actually cut out of the letter. The what led into this was Jesus Christ Himself commanded us to study Isaiah. Therefore, we should support groups like this. And then it was said, no group or no individual or group has done more to fulfill the mandate of our Savior on this than Gilead and the Isaiah Institute. That was all part of this letter. So basically, here's the thing: everything that we have ever been accused of being and doing, which we never have, we don't have non-disclosure agreements. We have a Facebook account, a Facebook, we had a Facebook page where that was private that we just didn't want apostates in there. That there was no disclosure agreements. Share our stuff, be my guest. Like we didn't care, but like there was no non-disclosure agreements. We're going broke doing this. We don't get any money doing this. We're doing it because we love it and it's costing us money. Like everything that we're accused. Oh, and here's the other thing: you can't point to a single individual, not one, that has listened to us and been a part of us that has left the church, that has like been listening to us and be like, you know what? I agree with what Ammon and
They're
Topher
right.
are saying. I'm going to leave the church. Yeah, you know what? I agree. Never, not once. Not once. Our position has always been follow the prophet, even if he is literally telling you to put poison in your body. Like, that's always been our position. And so, and we've been very open about that. Like, we're not saying he is telling you to do it. I'm saying that is been our position. And so, everything we've been accused of in one way, shape, or form, like,
Here it is.
Boy, it's
There
a
it is.
huge concern to me, though, that whoever it was in that stake sent that to everyone. That's disgusting, honestly.
It happens, dude. It happens all the time. We just had another one that was shared with us where it was actually in one of the branches here. He sent out an invitation to his priest crafter. Same thing, that was saying, oh, we want to raise this money, we want to do this good, and it costs this much money, and he was sending it out in an email to the branch members here, and so it's everywhere now. Like it's crazy.
Yep. And I think a lot of people are going to listen to this and they're going to say, okay, I'm following what you're saying, I'm hearing it, but can you just break down for me what the concerns are with what he teaches? And maybe we'll get into that sometime. I've beat that horse to death in our Discord group and gone over it and over it. We've discussed it and the issues with the things that he teaches. So maybe we'll get into it sometime. But the point, I mean, the basic point here is that somebody from the church is trying to leverage cash for a secular group, essentially. Yeah, they're talking about the scriptures, but they've got nothing to do with the church. But they're trying to use the church as a tool and members of the church as a tool to give these guys money. And the fact is, you don't need to. If they loved the church and they love the gospel, they don't need a $60,000 full-time videographer. They can spend a couple of dollars of their own money, they can pull out a video, and they can produce content. And if they want it to improve, then they can just keep doing it and get better at it. And if somebody wanted to volunteer their time, that's a videographer because they love what they do, then they can volunteer their time. And everyone can just get in as volunteers and they don't have to be worried about hundreds of thousands of dollars of people's donations. It's not required. And
Gross.
definitely don't be leveraging, pulling people's heartstrings and leveraging the gospel of Jesus Christ to put money into it. You don't need it. It doesn't have to
But,
happen.
but Ammon,
Yeah.
Ammon, I heard everything you just said, but I'll just
Yeah.
counter it with this: go to the temple, follow your heart,
Follow my heart. Okay.
follow your heart. Don't donate
Follow your
whatever,
nose.
donate whatever your little heart tells you to, because your heart isn't deceitful.
My heart tells me to donate a lighter and a full tank of gasoline
Oh,
Follow your nose. Follow your nose, guys.
to the scroll right here. See that?
Good
See
guys.
that beautiful little candle in that picture? All it needs is some gas, baby.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
Be a good guy.
Burn it down.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
Be a good guy,
Be
boy,
a
and
good
burn it
guy
down.
and donate to the Jewish Institute of.
The only good goyim is a rich goyim, as I've said before.
Yeah. Only useful ones. Yep.
If you don't have a $5 million mansion sitting in front of a temple, you haven't made it as a goy boy. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Next up, what do we got?
All right. Am I reading this one?
If you want.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember
Do
what what we said.
That's you. If you're not reading it, I'm not
of
listening.
the week. There we go. Podcast segment. All right. So this is from a person, Joseph K. We're calling out the name. Now, so here's the question that he posed to us. Where did we get this question from? Did he actually pose this to us, or did we just?
He sent it directly to us, to me.
Oh, there we go. Yes, then. Yes. Okay, so he said, hey, brother. Another channel I watch is Rise Zion. Probably everyone's heard of them. And he shares messages from stakes around the world,
Hope not.
emphasizing preparation for the second coming, even temporal prep and urgency. How should I take it when I'm not hearing that same urgency in my ward or stake? Isn't building Zion and second coming prep supposed to be a collective stake effort? Yeah, okay. It's a decent question, actually. So, just to start the ball rolling, I see that a little bit here, actually. It's interesting because Ammon's ward, I'll just compare my ward to Ammon's ward. And Ammon's ward, let's start with my ward. My ward struggles to get 100 people to sacrament on Sunday, right? It's a great little ward. We've had some great move-ins recently, and it's actually we've got a lot of potential and a lot of good things going on. And we do actually have some good baptisms and things, but we just struggle. Like since COVID, I think we used to get 120 people to sacrament or so, 120 to 130. COVID happened, and now we struggle to get 90. We're in the 80s, averaging usually. A good week would be like, well, we got 100, you know. Ammon's ward gets, I don't know how many, but Ammon's ward is night and day to my ward. Now, do you think my ward's talking about second coming prep and things like that? No, because they're struggling to get people to come to church on Sunday. So this isn't the answer for the question necessarily, but this is one thing that comes to mind, and this might be something to do with it. But if you go to Ammon's ward have ward activities that are literally, and Ammon can probably speak more to this, it's his ward, but Ammon's ward, and he's invited me to them, and I've been to them, and they're great activities. They have activities in his ward on prep, like temporal prep and you know all of that sort of stuff. And Ammon he can add more to that if he wants. And it was really, really good. But it's like night and day difference, our wards. The different struggles, different things going on. And so I guess I would say like, you know, stakes around the world emphasizing prep for the second coming. I mean, I would hope that is going on, and I hope and we're always dying to hear, and especially from general conference. Like I can't wait. Like I just want something to be said clearly one time where we have some direction as to what we need to be focusing on. But this also goes back to we should always be focusing on this. The directions never changed, never stopped, never ended. It's still there to this day. It's on us. Look, it's on us individually to follow that commandment, to have you know, food storage and temporal prep and all this stuff, right? It's not on your stake president or on your ward temporal preparation person to ensure that you're following that direction. I mean, if anything, you can go to them and ask them for help and guidance if you start struggling, but it's not on your ward and stake to like make sure that you're doing it. But as a ward or stake, I would say that they're focusing on what they are struggling with at the time. And in my case, my ward's so far behind the eight ball on that sort of thing. They've got other things to worry about. They're not going to sit there and when we're struggling to get people to church going, how's your food storage? Even though it'd be great to focus on that. It's just not where we're at. Yeah.
Just a slightly different angle on that comment is just speaking about Rise Zion for a second. Hopefully you guys have never heard of it, but if you have, I'm sorry, because it's just a priestcraft grifting channel. But anyway, there's something about about this comment as well that we should raise, which is extremism from YouTube and YouTube creators and influencers is often a tool used to elicit emotional investment and interest. So this guy in particular constantly, like if you look at his channel, you could look at any one of his videos, every single one of his videos is using like an extreme title or an extreme content to elicit a member's emotional
Do this
investment.
now or you will die.
Correct.
Yeah.
Every single one of the videos is like that, so that people click on it and watch it. So the reason that he's doing these topics and constantly talking about the most extreme things is because it gets the most attention, and therefore the more attention, the more clicks, the more
Yep.
clicks, the more ad revenue, the more ad revenue, the more he gets paid. And
Yep.
so therefore the cycle
Laboring
means
for money.
he's doing it so he can get paid. So the next time he goes to create a video, his reasoning for creating the content is going to be, what am I going to share that elicits the most interest? That's the thing that I'm going to talk about. So he's not going to be talking about things like, let's talk about faith or let's talk about these scriptures. He's always going to be looking for something that elicits the most interest, which means that his channel is bought and paid for, and it's literally just a priestcraft. So, the guy could on appearance be trying to warn people or give people information, but there's some really great quotes from our prophets that we've gone over in the past that say, if you're conducting priestcraft, it actually doesn't matter what you're producing because it's all dead. If you're
Yeah.
doing something and it's in the form of priestcraft, even if it appears to be good, even if it appears that you're sharing a decent message, it's all dead and it's not counted unto you for righteousness. So that's just like one angle to hit here, and maybe
point.
somebody will watch this and go tell the guy. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sure he's probably a really nice person, but there's no doubt that his channel is monetized. And if every single thing he's doing is like the warning voice of something scary that elicits interest, then obviously the intention is to get more views. More views equals more money, and therefore he's literally just grifting the gospel, which is crazy. It shouldn't be happening. Now, if he turned around and if he heard this, someone messaged him and he realized, hey, that's probably not the way to go. It's probably not the way to try and build your bank account based off selling the gospel. I will turn my ad revenue off. Kudos. And I think you'll start seeing the content of the channel immediately change. You'll have to start thinking about, what is it that I want to share with people that will be the most benefit for the people, because I'm actually not getting anything out of it save for the benefit of the people themselves, not the money. So that would be awesome. Anyway.
Your point is really valid. I just Googled his channel, right? I don't listen to this guy, never have, but I just Googled his channel. His video titles are clickbaity nonsense. Like, it's crazy. Like, tribulation, the doors are closing, major shift. Like, it's all like, you need to watch this or you're going to, you need to watch this or you're going to die. Yeah. There's another big LDS channel, which I won't mention who it is, who does the same thing. It's always like, the second coming signs are here now. We got to watch this. I don't watch it, but I mean, that's what they try to do.
And then the interesting thing is, during the content of the video, you'll get the influencer, you'll get the priestcrafter saying things like, here's a headline, da 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 da. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. What do you guys think about it? Leave comments in the chat. Smash the subscribe button. Like and follow. I don't know what to think about it. I guess I don't know. So anyway, I'll see you guys next week. It's just that actually aren't presenting anything either. All they're doing is mentioning the topic, so people have clicked on it, they get paid the ad revenue, and then they'll do it again tomorrow. They'll do the exact same thing. Hey, here's a headline. Yep. Well, we better be good, guys. Okay, I don't know what to think about it. Do you? I don't. Cool. No one knows. No one will ever know. All right. See you next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing in
like
it.
it's like sharing gossip because you don't want the commitment associated with sharing anything that you believe to be true or the news. So it's basically just you don't want the commitment, but you want the money associated with it. So yeah, there's three things I would say about this. One is that I agree with the whole priestcraft thing, and I think I love the question. So please keep sending them in. But at the same time, remember the commitment of the week was turn off priestcraft and turn on the Three Brothers. A little bit of tongue in cheek there, but it's funny that the very first the really good some of these good questions contain priestcraft like in the thing. So we failed a little bit on turning off the priestcraft. And people need to not overlook how important it is to be not led by the Spirit, being led by money. That point that Ammon made there is so crucial. And it's like we just think, oh, it's not that. No, it's a huge deal. You're laboring for money. Like it changes how you view things. It changes everything. It's why there's 1.5 million pictures of Jesus painted with little children in fields of daisies. It's because 80% of the pictures are purchased by women, and that's what they want. And so an artist is going to be painting those things. He's not going to be painting things that maybe it will be the best or the most useful. We have like basically what, like 1 or 2 pictures of Samuel the Lamanite on the wall getting shot by arrows. Nobody wants to hang that in their house. So we're still using the one from like 1950 or whatever it is. Like we all know the picture, and it's like, are there other ones? It doesn't. Who's going to paint that? No one's buying it. So to be led by money means by default you are no longer led by the Spirit. And I would say this here as the last thing is that people the counter to this might be, or the anti if you will, is that, well, wouldn't this mean that we'd have to turn off the Three Brothers as well? And to that I would say, first and foremost, we don't practice priestcraft, so we don't get paid for this. And the second thing I would say is
You get what you pay for.
you get what you pay for. But the second thing I would say to that is, be my guest. Please, if it means you turn off Rise Zion, turn us off too. As I've said it 1,000,000 times, if I could get you to turn off Gileadi, and that cost you turning off me, do it. It would be better for you to turn off me and them. But I will tell you this, and I've said this for years. If you believe the Spirit of the Lord is telling you to turn off the Three Brothers, but keep going back to Gileadi or keep going back to Rise Zion, I testify with all the fervor, with all the humility I can muster, and hope that the Spirit can get through to you. You are being led by demons and devils. The Spirit of the Lord would not tell you to stay listening and partaking in priestcraft and avoid us. I'm telling you, you're being led by demons and devils. So turn them both off, be my guest. But if you feel like you're being told by the Lord to turn us off and go back and partake in this priestcraft content, I'm warning you, you do not have the discernment that you think you do. You need to check yourself. So,
Boy, this is crazy. I have to share this. Look at this. Look at this. I don't want to keep harping on about this dude, but you guys see this?
yeah.
Yeah.
He has a join button, right? So when you see a join button on someone's channel, I don't want to like hammer this one guy's channel. Like I'm not that all about this, but it's pretty gross. So here's
That's
a join
gross.
button. So you've got to subscribe, right, on YouTube. That's free, costs nothing. You subscribe to someone, you get a little notification if they make a video, whatever. Then this guy's got a join button, and you can be Rise Zion level 1, or you can be Rise Zion level 2. Look at that, $5.99 a month, $19.99 a month. That's Australian dollars, so it'll be slightly less American, whatever. But if you join, you get loyalty badges and custom emojis and blah blah blah. It's like what is going on, man? So
It's ugly.
priestcraft.
It's ugly.
It's gross.
I've
That's
never
gross.
I've never met someone that I brought the point of priestcraft up to on stuff like this, and they've been proud to stand behind the fact that they take the money for themselves. They're always upset that it's discussed. They're always upset that you bring it up. They're always going to try and block you, defame you, call you a name, get very angry about it, or brush it off and just say, everyone's doing it. I'm the same as everyone else. No one ever claims it. No one ever just wears it. No one ever just goes, yes, I am making money doing this and I'm proud of it. They refuse to say that because they know what it means. They know what it implies. It implies, yes, I am literally charging you to sell. I'm selling you Jesus and I'm charging you for the opportunity. So thank you very much.
I've only had one person ever I've heard say, I do understand that. I don't even care if it's Priestcraft. Please get me. And they kicked him out of the Priestcraft cabal. They wouldn't have him on. And in fact,
Yeah,
this poor individual, the thumb, he actually died. But I've only actually seen one person actually come out openly and be like, yes, it is making money. It is for me. I want more of it. I don't care if it's Priestcraft. And they were like, whoa, this guy's a little too honest about this. And they actually kicked him out of the Priestcraft cabal. None of them would have him on.
Too
I
honest.
remember his argument was, I don't just talk about church. It's like, oh, okay, 99% of it is. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I talk 1% about like other things. Oh, okay, fine then. Charge people for it. What the heck sort of a argument is that?
Crazy thing to say when the entire draw of your channel is to bring members of the church in to hear about Jesus.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people are going to listen to this. Maybe maybe you clicked on this by accident. Welcome. I'm glad you stuck around at this point. And so maybe they're also asking themselves, well, that doesn't seem fair. I mean, they're just talking about Jesus online. Well, does this seem fair? If I came to your house to do ministering and I asked you for $5 for the privilege? How would you feel about that? Whether you can pay it or not, how does that make you feel?
Or missionaries getting paid.
Correct. The instant visceral reaction is, that's not service. That's not out of the love of your heart if you get paid. I wouldn't have a problem giving money, but the handing over of money insinuates that it's something other than service. It's something other than work on behalf of Jesus Christ. And that I'm not comfortable with. How would you feel if before the priest blessed the sacrament on Sunday, you needed to give them some money for it? Well, I would have a visceral
flip that table. Yeah.
I'd have a visceral reaction to that because it's all about service on behalf of the Lord Jesus Christ. So if these things provide you with such a visceral reaction, it's not good. It's a bad look. It's not the way it ought to be. Then try and explain to me what the difference is between someone charging for you to take the sacrament or for you to minister to you in your home or to give you a priesthood blessing versus someone sitting online and asking you to pay them so they can talk to you about Jesus Christ. And the answer is there isn't a difference. It's just that you might currently see it a little bit differently, but the truth of the matter is there is no difference. And to the Lord, do you think he cares? It's the same to him. Whether you sell him online or whether you sell him in the sacrament meeting, it's exactly the same. It's the reason he flipped the tables in the temple. That's how much he cares about it. So
Yep.
Carry on. Yep. We don't need to beat that too hard, but I think we've beaten it sufficiently.
News. Was I doing this too?
You can do. Yeah,
Or we're
go for it.
just talking about it, whatever. Headlines. Headlines of the week.
We were thinking about actually doing an actual something there, but maybe we're just gonna point at Topher. Maybe that's what we're. All right, Topher, go.
Just make one up every week. Yeah. All right. So this is similar to last week. This is just us going through like some of the headlines for the week. First one. Everyone's probably aware of this. America discovered really good at hockey and that I'm really bad at reading. So the US men's and women's teams both take Olympic gold. That's the US teams. And I think it's funny because did Canada invent ice hockey? I think it's their game. No?
Yeah.
I think that's what they say. I don't know.
That's what they say, yeah. But you're gonna have some people over in Scotland that are in other places that are gonna be very upset at that. So yeah. Canada also believes that they were the first and only people to burn down the White House, and Canada literally didn't exist as a country when that happened. So it's It was actually the English. So they take credit for stuff pretty strangely. So
Yeah, okay. So anyway, funny kind of thing. If Canada did invent ice hockey, Americans just borrow it every few years to remind everyone it's a game still. Like, you know. Yeah, anyway, kind of funny. I don't know. Micah thought this was very funny.
oh, dude, this is on so many levels. I love this. I love this so much. You know, I lived in Canada for years, and on so many levels, I find this hilarious. You know, and I've said this before. I have never met a group of people more bigoted and racist in my entire life than Canadians. Never have. I lived up there for 10 plus years. It was insane. When I told people I was American or even a dual citizen, it was just like, oh, Americans are horrible. You're terrible. It was just like right to my face, just immediate. If anybody up there liked Americans, they would literally, it was crazy. They'd whisper it to me. It was like they'd look over their shoulder and be like, you know, I actually like America. It was no joke. It was like insane the amount of just visceral hatred they have for Americans up there. It's just, and America, obviously, we just don't care. And
Yeah.
we don't care. We just think you're cute. We like your moose. We don't know anything about you. Like, so it's insane. And so
Micah, I believe it's Meese.
meese, yeah, a group of moosin is a meeson is
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I know multiple people, my wife included, my mom included, that came to the United States fearful because they expected the reaction to be exactly the same. Like they just thought that we just sat down here all the time talking about how awful Canada was. And within like a year, they were like, wow, Americans are like the nicest people ever. And the reason is because we're too busy hating on each other. So like it's a pastime like in America, just hating on other Americans, you know? So like if you're on the right side of the spectrum or the left, or if you like football or on the wrong team, we're too busy hating each other. We just don't hate the world. And every single time my mom or Ashley will be like, oh yeah, I'm from Canada. It's like, oh, I love Canada. That's so cool. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just like, this is insane. Like, why is everyone so nice about this? And it was like, because she lived through it with me when I was like, yeah, I'm actually from the States. It was like, oh, yeah. Well, are you a racist bigot too? And it's like, wow. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for that. So I love this. My first bishop in Canada was just an avid, just visceral hater of America, lover of Canada. And that year was the Olympics, and the Canadian women beat the American women in hockey, and he made me watch it. And then that women's team, that Canadian women's team, skated around on the ice and got drunk and skated over the American flag, skated over it. And I was like, do you think this is okay? Oh, and why did it matter that they were getting drunk? Because they were actually underage. So these were underage, illegal, getting drunk, skating on the American flag. And my bishop was like, man, you're taking the loss hard, bro. Like, you just need to like allow them to enjoy their moment. Like, this is our thing. Like, blah 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 blah. This year, Canadians are booing our national anthem. Yada yada yada. And we beat them in hockey. And all you're hearing about is, oh, Americans are such poor winners. No, you're just an awful loser. You've been an awful winner for the last 40 years with this. We just, like, just grow up. And so, yeah, so no, I love it for all those reasons. I also love it for this reason. None of this stuff matters, folks. Your entire identity is literally skating around on ice with a puck. That's all your identity. You care this much about it. And some country that it's their fourth most popular sport, managed to cook you on men and female. It doesn't matter. Focus on the things that matter. Like, why aren't you this defensive about the Book of Mormon? Why aren't you this defensive about priestcraft? Why is it that hockey means this much to you? That your Canadian identity means this much to you? It's like, get something that matters more. Like, it's just insane to me because
electing a half decent prime minister.
Yeah,
What-
for real.
how about that?
Do they use a prime minister like we do? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
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 It's not Trudeau
Maybe
anymore, is it?
no, take all that big hockey energy and put that into affordable housing or hiring a half decent prime minister and saving your country.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, no, Trudeau is now busy with Katy Perry.
Yeah, he's busy.
Oh. Yeah, no, he's
Um,
gone.
He's doing even less.
It's
Yeah.
it's funny, like this is how I imagine it. Canadians going, America this, America that, la la la, like we always blah, blah, think about them all the time and raging about them, and that like that meme, like the Americans are like, well, I don't think about you at all.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, like
100%.
They're like, we don't think about you at all.
That's exactly what it is.
There's nothing quite like a big mouth being humbled.
And here's the deal, folks. Nobody more than me has said and pointed out that America is going to burn. Nobody has said that more. That this idea that like America is going to be in the New Jerusalem or whatever. No, all kingdoms of the earth are eventually going to collapse. Nobody's been more vocal about that than me. We're all going to collapse. We are all going to go down. New Jerusalem will be the only kingdom. Now, with that said, brothers and sisters, there's only been one country in the entire world. That means, I'm sorry, it's not Canada. Sorry, it's not Australia. Sorry, it's not one country in which the Lord himself said, I took an active part in the creation of that constitution. One. And that was the United States.
Australia. Oh,
It was Australia. There wasn't one. There hasn't been one. It's been America. And so, when you attack, America, just realize that, right? Like, we're awful, but we're also the last awful beacon of things like free speech and stuff. And when that goes down, we're never going to need the New Jerusalem more. So
I've never, and something you said before, I've never understood the making of your identity like a sport or whatever. Like people make like sport that they love, like it'd be football. Like, I mean, England, Britain is like a real, or like all of Europe really is like a real good example of that. Like they all have their football, we call it soccer, what you guys call it. They're football teams, right? And they are like do or die, like punch each other to death over it.
Oh yeah.
Like it's hardcore, like crazy. Like I had a friend over here. He doesn't live in Perth anymore, but I was in YSA with him, and he was from England, and his team was Tottenham, right? Never heard of it in my life. I don't care about soccer at all. I don't like any sports. I don't really follow any. I don't understand the making a sport your identity or caring so much about who wins or whatever. Don't get it. But anyway, Tottenham was his thing, and I made a joke and I said, something about like Tottenham sucks, right? Like just to get. And he was ready to punch me.
Oh yeah.
He was livid at me, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm just joking, mate. Like, what the heck? Like, who cares? Like, it's no joke." And I'm like, I just don't get making a stupid sport who can throw or kick a ball better or hit a puck better your identity or your thing. And it's like literally these things are like designed to just suck you in and put your attention on them so that you don't see Epstein doing a whole bunch of nonsense. What I mean? Like it's a distraction, and like who cares? I don't know. I've never understood it. Not that you can't like sports or whatever, but like I don't know, who cares, man?
It's not that big a deal. That's exactly
Not
right.
that big a deal.
Yeah. Would you consider jujitsu a sport? Is that a sport, or is that just
a sport? But again, I'm not watching. So me and Emin do jujitsu. We're not watching.
I couldn't even get to the punchline of my joke about being a gay bathhouse, but that's fine. That's fine.
Sorry, ruined it.
I take that very seriously. And
boy, I love all the memes. You see all the memes and the jokes about jujitsu being like totally gay. It's so funny to me.
Yeah,
because it's pretty. I mean, the first time you go to jujitsu, man, you are rolling with a man. You're straddling a man. There's no easing into it.
And I have yet to meet somebody who does jujitsu that has gotten offended at it. Not one.
Yeah, it's funny.
They all think it's hilarious. So that's a good sign about the sport.
Yeah, but
there's nothing more homosexual out there than practicing jujitsu with another man.
I literally don't think there is. It couldn't be a more homosexual type of sport. Like, I mean, how do you get more on another man? Like, it is literally.
And the more you embrace the stereotype, and the more you realize it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
it's the same context, isn't it? Like it doesn't matter. You're doing something
Yeah.
for fun, and it's not so serious, bro. Like don't make it so serious.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
we're not watching professional matches and going, "Ah, ah,"
Yeah,
and
if you tried to offend me about my favorite jiu-jitsu player or whatever, I wouldn't
yeah,
try and fight you over it. We'd probably laugh about it,
yeah,
or not care.
no
It
one will
doesn't
care.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I'm, yeah, maybe it's
Am,
Australians. I'm pretty
am,
apathetic about most things.
Em and Topher are teasing me about things American all the time, and I think they're hilarious. They send me how many bald eagles in a pack of 12 of hot dogs does it take to to get from Michigan to New York or something? It's always like
Because America uses the imperial system,
No,
uh,
it's
and they
Americans will
refuse
literally
to measure.
Americans
yeah.
will literally use anything but the imperial system to measure
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's like news clippings of people going, "Man, the truck that rolled over it weighed 3 rhinos."
It's for
Like,
real.
why are we measuring the truck in rhinos? Just tell us it was a ton, or
It snowed a hot dog and a
yeah,
half.
Because
yeah,
they don't know their own
right,
imperial measurements for weight. They can't figure it out. It's too confusing
yeah,
for them.
yeah,
Oh
Gold.
gosh. But anyway,
yeah.
it's hilarious, and people need to stop taking those things so seriously.
Correct.
All right, so number two, State of the Union gets extra awkward. Lawmakers stay seated during several moments, sparking backlash. Now, again, I'm not a huge politics guy, but I did see this in my feed at some point, and I, it's mind blowing to me, right? So I love how, so President Trump, he goes, first and foremost, stand with me if you agree with this statement. And it was something like Americans first, not illegal aliens. It was like something simple like that. And of course, heaps of people stand and they're all cheering, and for a long time too, by the way, right? And I mean that you could say that statement is like um, out there. Oh, what would you call it? It's not controversial. It really isn't controversial. You could say it's controversial. I don't think it is controversial. You could say it is. So that's what he says. Half the people stand up and clapping, but so many in there don't clap and don't stand and don't agree. So what's crazy to
Correct.
me is that these are all American citizens. They're all American in the Congress or whatever. I don't understand American politics. They're all in there doing whatever they're doing, State of the Union, and half of them don't stand to support Americans first, not illegal aliens. And that to me, just straight away, is like this is just institutionalized, like lying to yourself and lying to everyone else. Like how can you not be your own country first? Like that's crazy to me. This is just like institutionalized suicide. You're just basically saying, well, Americans don't matter. Anyone else matters more than us. That is bonkers to me. And then you had what's it face I forget her name.
Ilhan Omar.
There you
Yep,
go,
that's right.
screaming out and yelling over Trump as he was trying to talk, saying, "You've murdered people. You've murdered people." It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Also, what are you doing? Like, like what gives you the right to be yelling stuff out over here? Like, yeah. So anyway, that's what I got from it. I didn't watch like anything else aside from that. That was enough for me to go, this is gross. I can't believe this.
Yeah, the poor lady, who was just absolutely butchered is it's the only way you could word it in the bus that was just stabbed by that person just out of the blue. Her mother was there and we wouldn't even stand for that. And it's like I understand that it's political theater. Like I get that.
Yeah,
But it's
theater's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
I get that, but it's like I would still stand,
yeah,
and yeah, I would still just stand. Like it's political theater, I get it, but I would stand. Here my response. You want a good response? Is you stand to this person and go, okay, now anybody who believes that we should be Israel first, keep standing. That's how you respond to something like this. You go, I agree. We put Americans first. That includes Israel, correct? Like that's how you respond to something like this. You don't just go, "No, I don't care about Americans. I don't care about that mother who's literally in the audience. She's there. I don't care about her daughter that got butchered." Ironically enough, who was a Ukrainian? half of these people have Ukrainian flags still in their bios, It's like this is literally a Ukrainian refugee woman stabbed on a bus. Can we not stand for her? No. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, it was awkward and
That one blows me because like that one's like objectively bad, right? It's not like subjective. Like how do you have any argument to defend what happened to that girl and to not like that
I
is
Yeah, I think the reason they didn't stand is because they are so divided as parties that they realized that if they stood and supported anything that they said, it's almost like an acknowledgement that what they're trying to do and what they're trying to push and that what their agenda is actually a positive agenda. And they know that if they do that, they have to then defend it at some other point. They have to defend the reason why they stood and explain, well, I was standing for that woman and her family, but I actually don't necessarily follow the same political stance as them on the border or immigration or whatever it might be. So they definitely got caught in a theatrical political trap, and people are going to talk about it, and it's going to cause a big stir. I think what it evoked for me is this is as divided as politics has ever been, and in
correct.
a country like America, with so many things going on and so many potential economic issues and social issues, and that there's a war looming. There's so many things going on to have all political parties absolutely detest each other to the point where they will even refuse to find common ground on something that everyone in the world would agree they should find common ground on. Just shows you how dangerous the political position is in the country. And so that's really what it points out to me.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're so divided that, like, even if they say something true, like even if the other side says something true, they can't even accept it. They can't go, yeah, I agree with that, because then there's some sort of inclination that they agree with
And they don't
everything
want to
or
have
other
to
thing.
show
Yeah,
that.
they just can't
Correct.
even.
They
Yeah,
Yeah.
know they know that'll be clipped and it will be reused a million times
yeah,
as, clip it, chat. They'll be reused and over and over again just to say, hey, they actually support the same thing. See?
Yep.
Can you line it up? Just
I
kidding.
tried to. I tried to. I couldn't quite get it lined up. I tried to. I couldn't quite just like reuse it.
I'm gonna have to recreate my masterpiece on this guy. All right.
Now, I wish I did a bit more
No, do it live.
brushing
Do
up
it
on this
live.
one. No, so
Nope,
I did
nope.
see,
Just do it live.
I saw the interview with Tucker Carlson and Huckabee. I'm assuming that's what this one was about.
Yes.
Yeah. And the section that I saw was supremely awkward for Huckabee. So, so the headline here is Huckabee suggests biblical expansion pact, says Israel has a right to land from the Nile to the Euphrates. And from what I saw in interview with Carlson and Huckabee, was that Carlson put him in his place. Say what you want about Tucker Carlson, but he put Huckabee in his place to the point where Huckabee almost had to he was like, oh, like really like got put in his place literally, um, because and I'm not the best person to explain this, but there's this false narrative, and please jump in and correct me if I say anything wrong here if you want to like straighten me out here. But there's this false narrative that Israel, as it stands today, Israel is the original people from, is it the land of Canaan, right? Canaanites, or like it's the original, like these are the people who inherited all that land. And the fact of the matter is that modern day Israel is not the same people. Because remember, if you look at the history of where Israel came from, those people were scattered. Those people were scattered originally. They're all over the place, right? These Israel as it stands today was created again, if you recall. And this is anyway, don't get me started on this. But this is why they won't do DNA testing in modern day Israel. They don't allow it because they know if you look at their DNA, they're not who they think they are by DNA. So what is their actual right, you know, to land? at the moment. Anyway, this is what I got from it, and that was where Tucker Carlson put him in his place. That's what I saw. Do you guys have anything else to add to it? Because that's the extent of my ability to comment, probably.
So what ended up happening is that Tucker said, okay, so like you believe that they have a right to be over here because of what it says in the Bible, and Huckabee said yes, and he said, okay, but what it says in the Bible is they have a right to the land of Canaan, like they have the right to this land. Well, it says in the Bible that this is from the Nile to the Euphrates. Like this is the land, and that would include parts of Egypt. That would include a lot of the Middle East, like almost all of it. And so Tucker said, "Gee, so do you believe Israel would have a right to that as well?" And Huckabee said they could take all of that as well, and that would be fine. And so he literally, and by the way, he is the ambassador to Israel. So our United States ambassador to Israel said it would be religiously and morally, it would be okay if Israel took that land from the surrounding countries and made it a part of Israel. It's known as Greater Israel, by the way. And so so we just said that quiet part out loud, and now everyone and the very first time this has ever happened, not one, all of the Muslim countries in that area, all of it was like 9 or 13, wrote a letter scathing this and asking the White House to make it clear that this is not U.S. foreign policy, that this would not be okay, in fact. And as of yet, no response. So as of yet, no response from the White House.
It's funny when you accidentally get to peek behind the curtain, when they accidentally put their foot in it. You actually see what they truly believe. And my eyes are opening more and more to that sort of thing lately. Anyway,
but more importantly, the Dow Jones is like up 30 billion.
Oh yeah,
and Iran is just really, really mean to their civilians. And so like what we need to really focus on is the Dow Jones and just how mean those people in Iran are. I mean, so mean that I think we should probably go to war with them. Like really, that's what we should be focused on at this time, I think. So
it reminds me of that Simpsons clip. It's like that big fat dude in like Cuba or whatever. And he's like, oh, I can't remember what he's talking about, but he's like, like we related to this. He's like, oh yeah, we should have the Nile and the Euphrates. Oh, I should not have said that. I should. Oh. It's too hot. It's too hot.
Dude, I should not have said that. I cannot say more. I cannot say more. I will be in trouble. I will be in trouble if I say more. So anyway, he said it though. So anyway, Huckabee said it. So he also said that when pressed on how Israel's doing in the Middle East with human rights, Huckabee said that Israel does an infinitely better job at protecting human rights in war than America does. And Tucker was like, "Did you just insult? You're an ambassador from America to Israel. Did you just insult your own country?" So yeah, like, did you just say that are you an ambassador for Israel or for us? So yeah. Anyway, it's
I should not have said that.
I should not have said that. So yeah, he said a couple things in this that are like really bad. I would expect Huckabee to like vanish,
resign, or
resign. But It's fine. I'm sure he'll have plenty of shekels.
The good news about
retire.
Huckabee is that he has a really fun name. So it's good.
Yeah, Huckabee. He'll always have that. No one can take that away from him.
You know what always grinds my gears about those types of interviews is anybody who's ever standing on the position of supporting Israel in those interviews has always flat out refused to acknowledge the damage that they cause to the innocent. It doesn't matter which interview, and it doesn't matter how the question is framed. If there's ever a question put to them to say something like, but what about all the women and children that are being innocently murdered? What about the people that are being displaced that are totally innocent? And I've never, ever, ever heard somebody supporting Israel ever say anything remotely compassionate. Never.
No.
They've never, ever said, you know what? You make a great point, and the loss of innocent life is just a disaster. And I wish there was a way around it. I wish there was a way to completely avoid it. I wish, and they're doing everything they possibly can. I've never heard them answer a question like that. They never do, because as soon as they start to
And
acknowledge
maybe
that,
here are some steps we can take to be better.
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
they can't concede it.
All
Yeah.
they do is try and point the finger at somebody else. All they do is try and say, well, this guy's worse than us, or,
Yeah.
or it's not happening at all. Like, how many times have we heard interviews where people are talking about this and their response is simply, it's not happening. No, the
Yeah.
innocent aren't being killed. They're all Hamas. They're all evil. They're all bad.
I believed that for a while because they kept saying it, and it's like, well,
Well, that's all they say. And so if you're just eating up the goy slop, it's all you're getting day in and day out is that they've never done anything wrong in their lives. And then you look at it completely objectively and you see that the innocent are getting absolutely destroyed over there. Now, I saw snippets of this, and I'm pretty sure it was the Huckabee interview that he was talking about, well, was it wrong that the innocent died at Hiroshima? Was it wrong that the innocent died in the firebombing of Tokyo? Was it wrong? And he's obviously using examples from the West where they were trying to do something for the right reasons. But would we in the West say that it was okay that the innocent died in Hiroshima? I never would.
No.
I never
We
ever
would,
would.
sad.
we would never say that.
brutally
Yeah, we
Would
would
we
say
ever
we
say that?
wish there was another way. Yeah, we would.
It was
never.
a devastating loss of life. If there was any other way, we should have taken it. No one should be proud of that. All right. We can make jokes about it from time to time, but no one should be proud of what happened in those circumstances. They were unfortunately, at the end of the tether, at the end of the line, in order to prevent absolute mass devastation. Some of those actions were taken, and nobody's happy about it. And nobody should be saying that the innocent weren't killed. They were destroyed. And so what they're doing, the smokescreen that they keep trying to shade Israel with, is what kills me. If they were open and they were honest, I could get down with that. If they were trying to explain that they're doing everything they possibly can to avoid it, but it's happening and we're not happy about it, I'd be down with that to an extent. But the smoke and mirrors and the constant deflection and the constant trying to pretend it's not happening and or answering the question with an accusation against someone else, that kills me, man. I just can't get behind any of it. I can't.
Yeah.
I could never support that.
Yeah, it's like they just can't concede it, eh? It's like if they conceded that they were harming innocent life,
And here's
then
another
it's all wrong. I don't know.
here's the other thing about the constant call for people who deem themselves as Jews to have a right to that land. We all come from colonized countries. We come from bloodlines of people that colonized place after place after place after place. Now, to be honest, the way that the world works is the strongest survives, and whoever goes in and takes a place, that's their place. It just is what it is. But that doesn't mean that what they're doing is right. Just because you can destroy people and take a place doesn't mean it's a good thing, and it doesn't mean that it's right in the sight of whoever, God, other people, other countries. So another thing that I'm not really down with is if a country believes it has a right to something and it's going to go and take it by force, I don't know that we should be supporting that country in doing that.
Yeah.
If they're going to go and do it, they ought to suffer the consequences of doing it. Like, they need to weigh up the consequences of going and treading on somebody's feet, that person is going to snap back at them for doing that. And I'm not sure, and we should be very careful about trying to back someone who's trying to take other people's stuff, other people's land, other people's possessions and homes. And, I think right and wrong is a big deal for me. And I don't know that blindly following the leader on something like that is the way to go. But hey, who am I?
You're Ammon.
And that means I have absolutely nothing to stand by. Nothing to stand behind on that. So you get what you pay for on that.
Who am I? I'm Ammon.
I'm absolutely no
Don't
one.
mind me. Just gonna have a sip of the old goy slop.
Good goy slop. Oh, so good. My goodness. So, by the way, the other thing that Huckabee was called out on here, not to beat this horse any longer, but there were so many good tidbits on here. One of the things Huckabee did, one of the very first things he did as ambassador to Israel, is he went and visited with one of the most famous Israeli spies that stole information from America. And ended up getting released with like a slap on the wrist, and it was a big it was a big scandal, you could say, when it kind of happened. Huckabee met with him like in the embassy and so forth, and Tucker asked him about it. And two things happened. It was pretty crazy when he asked him. Huckabee said, "You know what's crazy, Tucker? You're the only person who's asked me about that since this happened, since I did this." And he was using that like a, why are you even interested in this, Tucker? So like he did that, but it was like, you're telling me not a single journalist thought that this was an important question to ask the U.S. ambassador to Israel. That shows you who owns the media. Firstly, nobody, not one person thought, "Hey, Huckabee, why are you meeting with Israeli spies?" And the second thing it is, he lied. So he said, "Well, I actually, I met him, but it was like, accidentally in a restaurant, like in a restroom, it's like one of those stupid things." And it was like, no, no, like we know that you met him in the freaking embassy. We have the paperwork. We know that happened. It's like we've now entered this time period where it's like we can just, with AI and stuff. Like I genuinely believe that we are so balkanized into our groups that they can just say, "No, that never happened." And even when it's like, "No, like this is an established fact, you did do this." And then, the Goyim slop eaters, as you put it, will just be like, "Well, no, it never happened. Like it's just AI or whatever. It's all just fake." And I don't think there's any way to bridge these gaps anymore to be like, this actually did happen. Oh my goodness, who drew that? Freaking trying to get us banned immediately. My goodness. Freaking, God, you didn't see nothing. Anyway, moving on. You, you didn't see nothing.
I
Okay.
was drawing the Buddhist peace sign.
Okay, great. Good. Okay.
Yep.
Next one here. I don't know why it did this picture. It's a bit Uchtdorf in this in this missionary, because he's now in charge of the missionaries, because he's now in charge of the 12 apostles, or the acting president of the 12 apostles. Ashley asked me about this. She didn't actually, as a convert, she didn't actually understand what all that language meant, and I had to let her know, like, which maybe other people out there don't know this. So, like, if the acting president or the official president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles is the apostle who's been in it the second oldest. So that would be the next one under President Oaks. But if that person happens to be in the first presidency, he isn't a member of the first presidency and acting president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. So it's like, who's the next oldest one after that? And so that would be Uchtdorf. So that's why he's the now in charge of that. And this is one of his very first kind of speeches to the missionaries. And I actually really appreciate that he said that your primary goal or function is, your job is to go preach repentance. And so basically like a doctor, curing people. Your job is to go and cure people. Your job is to cry repentance. So
It's
Through
an
interpretive
easy one.
dance.
Yeah, naturally through interpretive dance, rapping, magic, and backflips, and whatever else you've got. Call people to repentance in any way you can. No, but it's that's an easy one to forget. That's what a missionary's purpose is. To actually call people to repentance. And may they be so bold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes someone to be bold to do that. And from everything we talked about, doesn't it feel like there's a bit of less of boldness these days? There's a bit more other stuff. More bold.
Feminagoyism? What is that word I'm looking for?
Femgoy.
Femgoy? Yeah.
It reminds me of something I shared with the youth this morning, and it's something that we've talked about quite a few times, is what is the danger if they don't cry repentance unto this generation? The danger is twofold. Number one, it's that people are going to miss out on the opportunity to protect themselves from the things to come. So by them repenting, they're changing, they're improving themselves, and they're preparing themselves for the day in which everything basically burns, right? And also they're protecting themselves from the blood and sins of this generation falling upon them personally for not
Yep.
having done what they're supposed to do. So when someone's
Correct.
standing at the watchtower, you're in danger because there's an army coming.
Yep.
And you're also in danger because if you don't do your job and you fall asleep, your own people are going to want to kill you. So
Yep.
it's not like it's not like you miss out on blessings for not being a good missionary or a good member of the church. You are actually cursed. Like there's danger in not fulfilling your mandate because we are called, every single one of us, to declare repentance under this generation. And if we don't do it and save them and protect them, then our own people, the Lord, causes the blood and sins of that generation to simply fall upon us. And so we're in trouble if we don't do it. We're in trouble. So I like that we're just bringing it back to something as basic as, like, guys, just keep in mind, this is the goal. You got to cry repentance. You got to do it.
Yep. The world is getting a little softer. And just FYI, if the three brother emails ever get leaked, it'll be full of references to femgoyism. It'll be full of every email will be, well, are there femgoyams there? So that'll be that's mostly what our emails are about. So I'm not really sure what we're doing to this poor sod here. This is like bandages, maybe? Like these are bandages all over his face.
I
We're making him
made the doctor
happy.
Patch Adams. The
Hmm.
doctor was Patch Adams. He was a clown.
Okay.
No
I'm
reason.
Works.
just making this guy a bit happier, and we're bandaging him up good.
Okay, good. It's just like an anime. It's like whenever anyone is injured in anime, they always just have bandages everywhere for some reason. Because
Badly drawn man.
Because white ace bandages work like that. All right, well, the last one here. This one ends on a little bit of a funny upper beat note on purpose. So take us away. I don't know if our two Aussie friends knew about this.
I did see or hear something about it, but I didn't look at the actual news articles or anything. But Australia continues to be being Australia. Koala wandering around with a machete. Have you ever heard of drop bears? Is that something you've heard of, Micah? Drop bears?
I have not. No, I have not.
So it's funny. So when visitors come to Australia, it's one of
Oh,
the
yes, they
we
give
always
people
say, "Watch out."
koalas.
Well, no. So we say, watch out for drop bears. That's what we say. And we say it like it's a real thing. And essentially what a drop bear is a vicious koala that will jump out of the trees and has fangs that will actually bite you. And we
Yes.
say it like, hey, watch out for like it's real. But everyone laughs. Like we all laugh because we know that it's not real. But the visitors don't know that it's a joke. That's what it made me think. This koala's got a machete, It's like drop bears have evolved, Drop bears are carrying weapons now. Give me your eucalyptus. Give me all your eucalyptus leaves, But I don't know that. I actually don't know much else about the story. Is there anything else noteworthy about the?
I've seen the pictures and some of the videos, so it is real and it's hilarious. This is some koala who's finally had enough of everything in Australia trying to kill him, and he found a machete. And so,
And koalas
Ironically
sleep
enough-
18 hours a day.
Ironically enough, a koala with a machete is not the only thing in Australia that wants to kill you. Everything in Australia wants to kill you.
Koalas are probably the least of your concerns, even one with a machete.
Right.
yeah, I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos of people talking about the jump bears, and then they've been like, they talked about how dangerous they are, and they gave them to tourists, and the tourists are like, ah, and then they're like, oh, whoa, don't move. I think he's upset. And then they're oh no, and so yeah, I've seen the videos of us.
You know what would add to the terror of those people? For anyone that hasn't held a koala before, they have extremely powerful claws.
Yeah.
So that whilst they look cuddly and soft, their claws are extreme because they literally just climb up and down solid trees all day. And so when you hold them, they grip you like they're holding onto a
Yes.
tree.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like the talon of an eagle. Like if you caught an eagle bare armed, it'd just be like a
And
koala
hurt,
is exactly the same.
bleed.
So people are like, oh, I'll hug a koala, bang. Uh-oh. You literally feel like you're going to get ripped to shreds with one of these things. So then
Yeah.
you start telling them that it could get angry and it could actually kill you, and they'd probably believe that.
Let alone
And
that
they're
it's
not
packing.
that cuddly. They're not that cuddly, and they all have syphilis as well. So,
They do.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Chlamydia.
For some reason, is it chlamydia? Oh,
Yeah.
one of them.
I think they're trying to collect the whole set. But they sound scary at night. If you ever camped around koalas, they actually sound like they're going to kill you at night as well. So they
That's
Oh,
what he's walking
fuck.
around. That's what he's walking around with the machete. Who's got gonorrhea? Give me gonorrhea.
Give me the next one. Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
just imagine the sound of an angry wild boar, and that's why koalas sound all night.
Yeah, good times.
You call that a knife? Our koalas have bigger knives than that.
They do. They do.
All right. Well, that was pretty good. That was
One
pretty
other
good.
thing in newsworthy, it's not on our list. I put it in our little document there for reference, and this only, as far as I know, got found out today, like not long ago. Bill Gates just admitted that he did do stuff with two Russian, I guess, prostitutes or whatever in the whole Epstein thing, which is interesting. The reason I think that's interesting is that if you recall, Bill Gates did an interview where he was like, I never went on, I went on Epstein's, I think he said he went on Epstein's plane, but I never met any women. I never, blah, 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 denying everything. Now he's like come out to his staff. I guess he still has a staff. It's probably his charity staff, and had to do this groveling apology saying, actually, I did do things with two Russian women, whatever they were, da 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 da. And I don't know, man. It's just like there's more and more coming out about that stuff, and these people would just bold-faced lie to you. A week ago, he said he had done nothing, had nothing to do with it. More information will come out, and you'll see that I had nothing to do with anything. And next minute, he's on his knees groveling to his foundation, asking for forgiveness for, blah 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 blah. So I feel like just a pawn in this massive game of like we have no control over anything, no control over what we hear, what we do, da da da. We can only do the best we can do with the information we have and do the best we can with ourselves, our righteousness, our faithfulness. Mind ourselves. These guys are just, we're surrounded by Gadian at the end of the day. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting because, it's topical and it just came out today. And
I
there'll
think
be more.
if it does anything, I think it should really wake up, in particular, the boomers. It should wake them up to realize that politics is not going to save you. And
Nope.
the wealthy and the successful and the people that you've been following all these years as though there's some kind of something to emulate in life or something to follow and respect, all that sort of stuff. It's all come crashing down right in front of us. And it's okay to change tack. It's okay to change political consideration and affiliation. It's okay to say, I was trying to support something before because it made sense and it appeared to be doing the right type of things. But now with this new information, that's all changed. And I'm no longer going to support this stuff.
Yeah.
Politics is not going to save us. The gospel of Jesus Christ is the only thing that's going to save us.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and if you feel like you can have your cake and eat it too, that I can treat hockey this important, or if I can treat politics this important, if I can treat these things this important, and then just go strutting into exaltation, and I'll learn to value the important things there, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. So, unfortunately. All right.
Amen.
So here's the spiritual thought segment. You guys like surprises?
I
Yeah.
do.
Oh, good. All right, here we go. All right. Since apparently we're not actually doing the high tech, we're just like mimicking it from now on. I guess like this is what we're doing. All right. So the spiritual thought segment that I thought tied well because this is from the Understanding Revelation I just did. I love this image, and I thought that there's an important commitment that is in this. Okay, so as for people who might not be familiar, this is a picture of people going to Mount Zion and the beautiful pillar of fire as it may or may not look. So there we go. So the in Revelation we learn about these candlesticks and the candlesticks with flickering flames, and Christ told us to carry these candles, these candlesticks, this light, which was Christ, into the world, right? So the candlesticks with flickering flames once bore witness of a hidden Christ amongst scattered congregations. The New Jerusalem with flaming pillars shall testify of a manifest king in the midst of his gathered sanctified people. The churches, once symbolized as candlesticks bearing borrowed light, the city of Zion blazing with glory, not borrowed, but bestowed. Then shall the hidden Christ stand openly among his saints, his arm revealed, his keys exercised, his covenant fulfilled, and the nations shall know that he is the Lord, their Savior and Redeemer. This is what we're looking forward to. This is what we want. I bear my testimony that I know that this is coming. Like I know that whether I'm a part of it or not, if I have to be swept away, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, if I have to be swept away for this to become a reality, sweep me away. If you don't understand the value and the beauty of this and just how much a city like this changes everything. It's like the United States and how having the United States out there with its free speech changes things for the better for other countries. It just having it out there as an example, just having this city out there as a reminder that it's possible and that we can obtain to this stuff and we can actually live in a society with people who don't want to be rich, without poor, that treat each other like they're equals. This is possible, and I know that with or without me, someday, shortly ahead, this city is going to be a reality, and I know that. And my commitment is, or I guess our commitment is, to prepare for that, is to be the best bearers of the candlesticks that we can be now in preparation for the bestowing of the power of the Lamb in which we get these things. And so open your mouth, be a witness this week. Invite someone to church, invite somebody to the gospel, share what you know to be true. I put here a little tongue in cheek, share the three brothers. Like I know that that's kind of lame to say on something like this, but if that's something that you think you can do, just do something that you think that you can do. And that doesn't mean just like share a temple pic, right? No, like actually go out there and open your mouth this week. Be a witness. That's my commitment, or our commitment. So,
Amen to that.
Amen.
You two have
the whole
it.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing just once again highlights to me that we are in a preparatory state. We're not in our final form. We're not what we are supposed to become yet. Right now, we're just hanging on with what we have, and what we have is nothing in comparison to what the Lord wants to bestow upon us in Zion, the New Jerusalem. And so when I look at this, I just think I'm just so hopeful towards it. There is a better way. Everything that we've just talked about in this whole podcast, the state of the world and what's in the news and all this sort of stuff, all of that in the day that Zion, the New Jerusalem is redeemed, is washed away. Like all the problems with politics and the issues with people having a love of sport and stuff over far more important things, and the way that they treat other people and everything that we've talked about, literally, land, politics, the innocent, everything that we've gone over, all those wrongs and all these crazy things are righted in this. Every single thing. So why wouldn't this be the goal? Why wouldn't this be the one thing that we'd yearn for over everything else? This is the thing that we should be ready to throw fisticuffs over. You know what I mean? Defending
Amen.
something like that is something that's worth putting your dukes up. So
No one will be yelling over Jesus when he gives his State of the Union address.
That's so true. Maybe hallelujah.
Yeah, it'll be just like people agreeing, Amen, hallelujah. Yeah.
you could say there'd be strict immigration policies.
There's very,
There will be.
very strict.
There will be. I really liked what you said, kind of like how America is almost a candlestick or a light to the rest of the world. Almost, again, I don't know. Don't want to sound too proud. I'm not even in America. I know I still think that, right? But America is this, has the Constitution, has
That
this,
makes the point all the more apparent.
that's true. Yeah, exactly. So America has the Constitution, has freedom of speech, has this, and has where the restoration occurred, right? It is this candlestick, this light, this flickering flame of truth as an example to everyone else. And just like that, as we should be. And again, very, very easy to hide your light, hide it behind a bushel or whatever, or not share it. To Micah's point, do something, say something, be something. Don't hide your light. Don't be ashamed. What does it call it in here? Borrowed light. The church is once symbolized as candlesticks bearing borrowed light. Let's not. We don't want to borrow light. We want to. I think it says something about blazing in there somewhere. Anyway, we need our own light and not to hide it. So that Zion may come, and it's going to come, and it's going to be in that same place in America, and we need it, man. Because I want to be there when Jesus gives his State of the Union address.
What? That'd be so cool.
Oh man. That's
And
the only
here-
thing I trust
what I'm
in,
doing.
man. I don't trust in politics. I don't trust in any of that garbage, but that's something that I 100% stand behind and have trust in.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yep.
I was talking to my bishop the other night, and we always just chat about life and things in general before we get into the nitty gritty of stuff. And we're talking about, like I'm building a house and what's he going to do with his block, his house, and it's like, oh, maybe in 10 years we'll do this, that, and the other. And then we both look at each other and we're like, man, if we're here in 10 years, do you know what I mean? Like we're both like, I just don't expect. Like I find it hard to make long-term plans. Not that I think we should live like we are gonna, but I just don't. I don't know. Just don't feel like we've got that long. And that's what we want.
Man, I'm hoping I'm not here in 10 years. That's so true. Yeah, that's it. Can I say one thing more, Governor? No.
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 That's what that is.
This is apparently it. Kind of like the
Cut him off.
the
Somebody
new-
pull the plug.
Oh,
the
Cut the mic.
old
Cut the mic.
the hook that comes out from the side.
yeah. Yeah. All right, Evan.
Good job, gang.
Want to wrap?
Another wonderful one for week number 2, mate. This is good. I enjoy doing it a bit sort of live. I enjoy the live reaction to this. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Those of you that have accidentally clicked this link, you made it all the way through. So congratulations to you.
Well done.
We're happy to be here with you. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you thought it was worthwhile. We'll continue to do this, and we are enjoying ourselves. That wraps it up. We are your favorite.
Your
Three
brothers.
And we'll
Thanks for
catch you
joining
again
us.
next week. Thanks for joining us. We love you guys.
Do, 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 do.
Do, do, do.